Hi, and welcome to this free sample from my anxiety course, which you can find on udemy.com. If you like it, do consider getting the course. It's only about $15, and that seems like a small price to pay if I can make a difference and help you feel a bit less stressed. But the other thing is, I think you'd like my free email tip of the month. Why not sign up for that? Cost you nothing, it's free forever, it never repeats, and it often includes either reduced price coupons or even freebie coupons for new courses that I'm releasing. I make about one course a month. So if you get my tip of the month, you will never miss a freebie or money off for courses that I'm releasing. So please do sign up for my tip of the month. And here we go with the video.
So I've got my whiteboard out now because I want to draw you a diagram that explains the connection between anxiety or stress and achievement and quality of life. So we're talking about some pretty big concepts here, but it just shows how important anxiety gets right into how happy you are, the quality of your life, but also how much you achieve. So I started thinking about this when I saw a diagram in a book, and it was about stress, and they were saying that if you look at the stressometer, let's suppose it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the stressometer. And of course, what do you call stress? How do you give it a number? It's really, it's a matter of opinion, isn't it? And some things stress people out more than others. So you might be really stressed by having to do a presentation. I'm much more stressed by having to queue behind people in a post office. But we have our different sources of stress. And then on the other axis, we've got how much you achieve. And I was looking at this diagram in a book, and I'm wondering whether, as I talk, you can guess what shape this diagram's going to be. And the answer is, it's this shape. So it gradually goes up until there's a peak at about 7. So your maximum achievement happens at 7. And beyond that, your achievement starts to drop off because you're so stressed. So I think you could say that this is pressure along here. And perhaps this bit here is stress. So when the pressure gets more than you can cope with, and I was talking about that balance earlier, then you start to achieve less. And where is anxiety on here? Well, it's similar to pressure, it's similar to stress really, isn't it? It's probably from about 6 onwards you're starting to get anxious, and when you get beyond 7, you're too anxious and it's starting to reduce your performance. So that's fine. I remember looking at that diagram and thinking, right, well, in that case I need to be at 7 for my maximum achievement. And then I thought to myself, but I don't want to be at 7, teetering on the edge of a breakdown. This didn't seem to be where I wanted to be. So I was thinking about what shape would the diagram be for quality of life, which you could call happiness perhaps. The quality of life as you go up the stressometer, up to 10 again. And I remember thinking about that, and when I ask people about this on training courses that I run, quite often they say it's just a reducing line. But then when they think about it, they say, well, actually no, because I don't want to be at 0 or 1, I'd be bored. So most people would say that the quality of life graph is kind of this shape, and there's a peak here at about 3 or 4. And beyond that, your quality of life is reducing because the amount of pressure that's on you is increasing. And basically all this anxiety that's happening from 6 onwards is reducing your quality of life. So that 3 is, say, being on holiday, and perhaps you lie on the beach at 1 or 2, but then you get a bit bored, so you hire a moped to explore the island or something like that, or you go on a canoe trip or rock climbing or something like that, just to get a bit of excitement. So your quality of life is probably maximum when you're at 3 or 4. So I was looking at these two diagrams and I was thinking, what if we combined the two of them? And I fed them both into an Excel spreadsheet because I am a bit of a nerd. And I pressed the button and I said, dear Excel, please show me the graph of what do I get when I plot achievement against quality of life. So combine these two. And I pressed the button and the spreadsheet did this. And I remember thinking, oh dear, there's another great theory that's not going to quite work. But actually, the more I think about this, the more profound it is. So what we've got as we go around this curve here is the stressometer from 0 to 10. So we start off at 0 here, we're bored, our quality of life is very low and we're not achieving anything. And we come up here to 3, and this might be, lying on the beach here at 1.5. And if we do a bit more, we achieve a bit more and explore the island or whatever, and our quality of life increases. And we get to our maximum quality of life here at 3, which was that. Then we get into the trade-off zone, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 is the maximum achievement. Now, once we get to 7, we've lost a bit of quality of life. As we've gone up on the achievement, we've gone down a bit on the quality of life. So our maximum achievement is great, but our quality of life is still okay, but it's not quite as fun as it was when we were over there on 3. And you have to pay a price to achieve as much as you can. And you might not have as much leisure time. And if you look at, Olympic athletes and things, they have no time with their families. They have to give up a lot of things. They can't eat donuts, etc. So here we are at 7. Now you might be an achievement maximizer and you might want to be at 7, or you might be a quality of life maximizer and you might want to be at 3. That's your choice. Beyond 7 is not sensible. So here we have 8, 9 and 10. And you can see that 10 we were on 0 on both, weren't we? Our quality of life was completely shot away. We were so stressed, and our achievement had also dropped. So what's happening here is that we're spiraling down in a sort of haze of insomnia and possibly alcohol, etc., because we just can't cope. And you'd be mad to be at 8, because yes, you're achieving quite a lot, but you could achieve the same amount at 4 and have a hugely better quality of life. You're not achieving much at 8 because you're so stressed. You just live in a horrendously anxious life. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, therefore, it makes sense to be somewhere between 3 and 7. There's no doubt about that. But where? And I can take it 2 more steps further. The first one is that this is quite level on the top here. So if you went back from 7 to 6, you're only losing a little bit of achievement, but you're gaining quite a lot of quality of life because it's flat on the top. So why would you not go to 6? Really, that last little bit of ego wanting to get 7 is not worth it. You pay quite a high price for that little bit of ego. So I'm thinking it would make more sense to be at 6. And similarly, if you're a quality of life maximizer, why not just sacrifice a little bit and go up to 4? Because you get a lot more achievement for only a small drop in quality of life. So it seems to me that it would be sensible to be between 4 and 6. So that's the first thing. Okay, between 4 and 6. Now, organisations are often pushing people to 7 because they just want to get the most out of you. And in fact, stupid organisations push you to 8 or 9 or 10 because they think they're going to get more out of you. And they won't, of course, they'll get less. But it seems to me that the sensible person will not go beyond 6 looking at this diagram. Anxiety starts to reduce the enjoyment of their life. Now, the final thing I want to say about this diagram is that what about time management? What about efficiency? And I'm going to come to this later in this course because I think having lists and being organised does help reduce anxiety and it will bring us back from the brink. So fantastic organisation could bring you back from perhaps from 8.5 back to 7 and you could achieve more and have a better quality of life if you were more organised. And I was thinking about this when I was first working on this theory and I thought, well, that's great. But surely time management won't take you from 6 down to 3 or from 3 down to 2. Surely time management will never reduce the amount you achieve. So what I've realised is that what time management does is it inflates your balloon. So if you're incredibly organised and efficient, what will happen is that your stressometer or anxiety-ometer will just be bigger. And this will be your 3 and this will be your 7. So if you're a quality of life maximizer and you're really organised, you can have a much better quality of life and you'll actually be achieving more as well at that point. Well, similarly, if you're an achievement maximizer, you can achieve a lot more if you're really organised and efficient. And you'll actually have a slightly better quality of life than you would have as well because everything's organised. And if you're doing what I'm recommending and being at 5 or 6, then you'll be moved to over here. That will be 6 and that will be 5, let's say. So you could have more achievement and more quality of life. So let's suppose that you were Richard Branson, one of my heroes. Let's suppose that he was here and he's running quite a few companies and still spending quite a lot of time windsurfing on Necker Island. If he was even more organised than he is, I don't know if that's possible, but if he was, he could be on this bigger one and he could be running even more companies and having even more time off to windsurf because he was so organised. And the reverse of that, if you look at people who are hopelessly disorganised, and I know a few people like this, they're playing on a shriveled little balloon. This is, their life really consists of, where do I want to be on this balloon? Do I want to be here or do I want to be here? There's almost no difference. The balloon of inefficiency is so small and shriveled. They're never going to achieve more than that. Their life's never going to be better than that. They've never got milk in the fridge because they forgot to order it, and their car's always broken down, and it's just a hassle because they're so disorganised. And the best they can do is play some game here. And if only they could get their time management sorted out, they could expand out at least onto a decent sized balloon and possibly a huge one. So that's my theory of quality of life, achievement, time management, and above all, stress and anxiety. And I think the conclusion is it's a total no-brainer to get your time management as good as you can. I've done separate courses on time management, but we're going to come to time management specifically aimed at reducing anxiety later on in this one. So it's a no-brainer to get your time management sorted out. But as well as that, do you want to be at 3 or 4? Would you want to sneak up to 5 or 6 or even possibly 7? But I would say don't go beyond 7 and think very hard about even going from 6 to 7. Is it worth it for the price you pay in quality of life?
So I hope you enjoyed that video from my anxiety course. I hope you found it interesting as well as practical. I always try to make my training as practical as I can. Obviously, if you liked it, do consider getting the course. And by the way, if you want to get the course for the cheapest possible price, go to my website and get a coupon from there, and you'll get it cheaper than if you just go straight to Udemy. So the coupons are on my page. You go to chriscroft.com, just look for free resources, and then go to the coupon page. Scroll down to the course you want, and that will be the cheapest price you'll ever get it for. But also, please do sign up for my tip of the month. And that's where I put links to new courses that I'm releasing, and I put a lot of coupons on there for either free access to new courses and also reduced price access. I also put loads of other stuff on tip of the month. Every time I think of something good, I save it all up, and once a month, I send it out to my 20,000 readers. So please join our little club and sign up for tip of the month.